Welcome to Mornings with Patricia. Happy Thursday. So I'm doing this Wednesday afternoon. It's about 20 to 3 and I can feel the air changing. I think it's supposed to rain tonight. And I remember, I don't know if I told you this, but in Michigan, where I grew up, my dad would say, this is how you smell or how you tell the rain. You smell it. And of course, sometimes the flies would come and stuff too, but just kind of interesting when you're really in tune with your environment. So today I want to talk about divine order and divine timing. What does that mean? Well, it's definitely not human order and not human timing. Because we typically are pretty impatient. And we want things, and we want them now, and we want them in our order, even though, like I've said before, sometimes the best prayer is the ones unanswered, because what we think we want and how it really shows up are usually two different things, or sometimes two different things. But why am I talking about divine order and divine timing? Well, they say God does not exist in time. Right? There's no, when they talk about different planes of existence, they say that there's no time on the other side, if you will. But there certainly seems to be an hour life, doesn't it? I'm going to have to keep doing this because I'm outside and it's really hard to see the time on the screen, so with all the light. So I don't know how this will pick up, but it feels really glary to me. But God does not exist in time. What does that mean? So we were talking in class last week about prayer. We're doing this thing on prayer, and in the ministerial class, and we were talking about when you ask for something. Of course, in metaphysics, it's really pretty different. But we were talking just generally, with prayer and petitionary prayer, and all around petitionary prayer, and how that goes out, and and God is not in time. So the request is out there, and they say that in many of the old mystery books or metaphysical books, they say that everything already exists, so your answer is already in alignment, or your answer is already there along with your wish or prayer. And sometimes it feels, doesn't it, that wow, we wait and wait and wait, and then all of a sudden whatever we need happens. But it's this big, and I've talked about this before, especially at Sacred Space, it's a big puzzle, and what you want and need is one piece of the puzzle, and so all these other things have to happen before perhaps what you're asking for can happen. There's dependencies, if you like. There are things that happen in a divine order, and when we get impatient with that process, it causes us a lot of angst. It causes us a lot of negative emotion. So how do we surrender ourselves to divine timing and divine order? Actually, divine timing is a misnomer since there's really no time. But how do we surrender ourselves to divine order? And for me personally, it comes down to trust. It comes down to, that my life has a purpose. Everything has a purpose, even though I may not be able to understand it. And to trust in that process, to have some grace around that. And I can't always do that. I can't always do it. But it's happening more and more that I'm able to do that. And I've noticed a shift for me in the past couple of months. The more time I spend outside and the more time that I allow myself to be at peace in nature and that connection, especially like I told you, I planted the garden, and I weed and we water it, and I'm watching the plants grow, and I'm thinking about how that unfolds, how all of that unfolds. And the rain and the water and the sun and all the things that these plants need, and as they're reaching upward to grow, there's this divine order of things that come in, this ebb and flow of things that come in, and it's just amazing to sit with them out there and feel their trust in the process. And how is it to trust in the process? Well, sometimes I think you have to get to a point in your life where you have to almost give up in order to understand what that trust is like. We have this thing, wow, that we have to work so hard for our good, that we have to work so hard, and that's such a crazy concept to me. I remember, because I was raised fundamentalist, when I grew up, Dad would always say, well, on the other side, there'll be joy and there'll be work, but it's not like work. I thought, what's that like, So this goes back to a previous one that I talked about. I thought, well, that must be play then, because I was a kid. Well, that must be play. Well, why don't adults do that all the time? Why is this thing called work? And so we take that concept, and I think it's probably that Protestant work ethic concept that says you can't get anything unless you work hard. Well, what does working hard mean? What does that mean, to work hard? You only get it by the sweat of your brow. That is a crazy train concept. The things that are produced that become luscious and abundant are things that are done through joy. Joy and love makes things grow. Joy and love creates the abundance, not work. Because when you think of work, you think, of sweating, you think of, ugh, I don't want to do that. So how can anything prosper? How can anything come out of that sort of mentality? But when you come out of the mentality that, and that whole essence of it is joy, then something really different happens. Now you're with the divine order. Now, your energies are in alignment, and the universe can respond in like kind, right? You've opened these big doors. You've swung them open. You've swung open all the windows to your life. And now that beautiful breeze can come through and everything can enter. But before, you're like, no, the door's locked. I gotta knock really loud, and then I don't know if I'm gonna answer because, I'm gonna have it my way, even though I don't know what my way's like. I can't tell you any specifics. I just know it's not this. Oh my God. I know it's not funny when you're going through it, but because it's really painful. Disillusion is really painful. You know that? Yeah. When you are disillusioned, when you are operating under a sort of illusion, that's really painful because it seems and feels really real. And all you can think about is the pain and the discomfort and the sadness and, oh my goodness, all the toil. But look around you. Look at this. Look at this. This beautiful, beautiful big maple tree, right? Every year I see her blossom out her leaves, and every fall she just covers and carpets the ground with the leaves. And I'm just so thankful for her. And she's this majestic strength, Not quite yet, sweetheart, but almost a grandmother. I don't quite feel grandmother energy from her yet. She's not probably quite old enough, but she's a wise woman, and she teaches me a lot just to be. She knows that everything's in divine order, and she responds in like kind. So, what would that be like for you to live in divine order? Can you imagine that for yourself? Can you imagine your life without struggle? Someone said the other day, well, I know that there's not supposed to be any struggle. And I said, well, I don't know that. I don't know that. I just know, and I think this is how I responded, but if I didn't, this is how I should have, or I would have liked to have responded, was I don't know that to be true because struggle does seem to exist. So I don't know that there shouldn't be. It's a Byron Katie, you love what is, but I don't choose that for myself. And that doesn't mean that I have to be Pollyanna. I just have to be present with what is and say, well, how would I rather be? Right? I'd rather be at peace. And I notice when I choose that for myself, I'd rather be at peace, then all my systems go, and I'm a different person on the inside and on the outside. And I'm able to listen to what people are really saying. I'm able to see what's really happening. I'm not putting my own impressions over that. I'm just really being receptive to whatever's going on. And even if I don't like something, I don't say that I need it to be a different way, right? I can just decide how I want to be with it. And that gives me a lot of peace. Then I'm in divine order. Then I'm understanding, looking at time again, sorry, talking about no time and I'm looking at it. Then that is a very different experience. It's a very different experience because your life becomes really more expansive. You know, you don't worry about what age you are. You don't worry about what's, going to happen, what has happened. You're just present with what's happening right now. And there's such an extreme peace in that. Of course, if you don't like what's happening, right, in your life, I've said before, you know that you're at choice to change it. The change may seem big, it may seem like crazy, but you are at choice. We're always at choice. We're always at choice. But you're also at choice to just let go and just observe the unfolding. Right now, it reminded me of the spiral energy, the spiral of the sunflower and the grand spiral in life, and how there's divine order in that. It's implicit in the universe. It's implicit. It's embedded in the universe. So no wonder that we feel, off kilter, other things, when we're not receptive to that divine order energy. Things feel off because we're in a sort of illusion when we think that, that there's struggle. I'm not saying that there can't be pain or that there shouldn't be pain or any of those things. I'm just saying that we tend to judge everything. We tend to judge pain, we tend to judge everything. And so if we could just let that go. If pain arises, it arises. But here's what we know. Everything that arises also descends, right? Everything that begins completes itself. So we don't have to struggle over that. We can just be, and we can appreciate the divine order of everything in our lives and around us. And when we do that, we send that beautiful message to the universe that says, hey, hello, I'm finally present. I'm here. Here I am. I'm listening now. I'm really seeing now. I'm ready. I'm ready to stop the commentary and to be present. I'm ready to stop future tripping and be present. I'm ready to stop judging everything and be present. So my wish for you today is that you get to experience that divine order, should you want to. And just notice how that frees you. Notice how you've been tethered by your own thoughts, by your own expectations, which often lead into disappointments. You're amazing. We all are amazing. All right, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God, I love myself. I love you. Love you so much. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow.